right in front of Mary Ann's.
Hey guys, I am gonna get us started just because I wanna keep this as efficient as possible. Mayor Andy and I have been in solid meetings all day, so I know everybody's like, oh, we get work done at some point in time in our lives. So I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 2:01 PM, and then I go ahead and do roll call. Steve?
Here.
Andy?
Here.
Kara?
Here.
Lana?
Here.
Katie? Here. Dean? Out here. Here. He's here. All right, I'm missing Kate, or I'm missing Lindsay. Okay, awesome. Did everybody get a chance to review the agenda? I have a motion to approve the agenda. Motion. Hey, who seconds? Steve. Alrighty, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, did everybody get a chance to review the minutes on the October 20th meeting? Sorry for putting them in the packet in the first place. Thank you, Steve, for pointing that out. Cool, do I have a motion to approve those minutes? Motion to approve. Any second?
Second.
Oh, Andy caught it first. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I don't know, don't believe I have any public comments scheduled, but is there anybody here wanting to make public comment unscheduled? Nope, good, okay. No conflicts of interest have been reported to me. Director's report. So per our last meeting, I'm not going to review the entire director's report. I'm gonna leave this pretty high level. And just go over some key things that are important. If you have a locals discount and you have not gotten your, Katie, if you have not gotten your window cling that says you have a locals discount, have them here for you.
I'll take, yeah.
You want two, right?
I'll take two, one for each.
Yeah, one for each, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody in the downtown district, I hand delivered, and I've been getting to the east end as quickly as I can. So these are starting to be out. The advertising and campaign that goes around this is going to start happening right around the week of small business, Saturday.
And we're not on there, so
Yeah.
I probably need to send that to you.
Yep,
So-
so if you are not listed on the, I will put it up on the screen so you guys can see which page. It is, and then I do this, right, share my screen. Okay, so this is the Live Local tab on our website. And, hold on one second, there's one, okay. Down here, oh, this is not right. Oh, now I'm. Okay, this is an error and I'm gonna fix that. Cool, awesome. I just noticed that. Not sure what happened there. It was working yesterday and now it is not. So I will find out.
Yeah, I
What?
was looking when I looked at it too, like 2 days ago, so.
Yeah, 2 days ago it was working. This morning it was working. So in fact, I'm entirely not sure what happened there. So I will figure that out after this meeting. So we'll stop sharing that, but normally right here under the Live Local page is a listing of all of our local discounts. And now they're somewhere else. So I'll find out where they are. So if you are not on that list and you want to be on that list, just email me what you offer to locals and I will get it up on there. Carla?
Is there an opportunity to maybe add a give local tab or something like that for nonprofits
Yep.
as well?
Absolutely, that can go on that page as well. So if you have something like that, yeah, just shoot me what you'd like listed on there and I would be happy to put it in there. And then we have the window decals that go for that. Next thing to kind of,
Say, how are we getting that information out to residents? Is there?
yep, so residents, a couple of new residents, there's an advertising in the new resident handbag. So the welcome bag that new residents get an advertisement of such. I haven't done any advertising to residents yet
Okay.
about this program. I will be posting about it in the Idaho Springs Community Group,
Okay.
as well as sharing some of that through our platforms and our newsletters, as well as marketing that we will be doing. But other than that, we haven't given any particular ideas yet.
The city is, started up, every other month a newsletter.
It's
as you
in-
know. It's in there,
it's in
great, okay, and we have one coming out, early December, I believe.
Correct.
Isn't it? Okay,
Flyers
you're already on it. Okay,
Yep.
great, I thought that'd be a good way to get it out. And if we want to, we could also probably add something with our water and sewer bills, those go out every other month. I know we have a very limited space, but we do have enough room on the water and sewer bills for a short message. So maybe.
We put
since
a little
it's
thing
slower
that
season, We
says,
just say,
visit the visit Idaho
Yeah,
Springs
for-
Live Local
and
for,
something about the discount, because
Yeah.
I think that could be appealing to local residents and they would see that, hey, I go check out these businesses.
yeah, absolutely, water bill.
Particularly when it's less busy.
Do you know the character limits on that?
Don't.
Who would I ask?
Mario
Okay,
would know.
I
She
will.
can find out if she doesn't
Cool.
know anything.
Awesome. I like that suggestion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing, on the director's report that I wanted to cover was we were able to find and quickly execute the Idaho Springs gift card program. It goes live today. There'll be a reel posted today, talking about it, and then there will be some paid advertising that Fox 31 is doing for us on it, advertising about it. What we were able to do is Interstate Parking sponsored the first program of it. They gave us $5,000. That gives us the opportunity to do a promo. So anybody that buys an Idaho Springs gift card from today till December 17th will be entered to win one of 10 $500 shopping sprees that I'll be giving away on December 17th. Those will have an expiration date, those $500 shopping sprees, at the end of February. So those people have to be spending them in the businesses by the end of February. So say Andy wins the Idaho Springs shopping spree #1, he can take that $500 gift card and spend it at he can spend all 500 of it at Clear Creek Outdoors if he wanted to. Or he could split it up and spend 100 at Terra's, 100 at the Majestic Gallery, 100 at Wild Grape. He can spend it however he chooses. He can only spend that gift card in the Idaho Springs authorized merchants. Right now, we have authorized merchants. We chose to make this first campaign retail focused. So these are retailers that are authorized merchants as of right now. This is what the website looks like if you want to go and buy an Idaho Springs gift card. This is what it looks like. So you can buy 5, 25, 50 or custom amounts. It's a digital gift card. It spends like a MasterCard, Visa gift card. There's a back end of this that gives me capacity to see everybody that purchases a gift card, name, email, and phone number. For the purchaser, I also get name and email of the person they send it to. So this is another great way for us to be building our network of people within our system.
So it's digital, and they present something on their phone when they go to buy?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways, and all the retailers that have been brought onto the system have seen it and been trained on it. There's essentially 2 ways. It's a tap to pay featured gift card, meaning someone can add it to their Android or their Apple Wallet. They come in and tap it just like they would a credit card. You wouldn't even know necessarily that it's an Idaho Springs gift card that they're paying with as a merchant. Second thing, they'll come in with a piece of paper printed and it has a little gift card on it that looks like this right here. And we'll have changes when I do that. Yeah, let's see, I'll show you.
It looks like a credit card.
It looks just like a credit
You have
card.
your Credit card number, you type it in.
Yeah, I don't have a really good example of how to show, oh wait, I do. It looks like that.
If somebody buys something, if you have an online store as part of your retail shop,
Yep.
the they would just type it in like a credit card number?
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely. Yep. They can also use it online. As long as that your online is linked to your merchant account that I ran your card through. So as a merchant, I went to Tara and I ran a gift card through her POS system to authorize her into the program. If her website is running off of that merchant system, yes. If it is not, I need to run another card through their online merchant to have it work through that.
So
Does that
that
make
wouldn't
sense?
work for me, because I do Stripe for my website and I do Square, so I would have to go.
Do both.
But if she ran it through Stripe, it would work.
Yep, and there can be multiple authorized, like, we could have a Marigold online shop. When you look at this page, at the bottom of this page, where can I use this gift card? So, this right now is showing all the different spots that are currently, authorized. I have a few more to do today that were not available yesterday, and a few more to continue to add in here. But that's where it says, where can I use this gift card? And then it has frequently asked questions down here. Another cool part about this that I will be talking to some of our bigger employers as well as the school district. The city might even consider it itself. There is this reward hub for volume discounts. So say Bojo's wants to buy a $10 Idaho Springs gift card for all of their employees as a holiday gift. They can do that through this portal and they won't be charged this e-delivery fee. They also will be able to get a slight discount. So they'll purchase that $10 gift card for $9, but it has a $10 value. Does that make sense? So we'll be talking to the school district about this and a few other key bigger employees to put that into the program as well.
Is there a limit to how many, is there a minimum order for those?
Don't know the answer to that question. I'll find out.
And I could see that those could be good gifts for clients or whatever, right?
Exactly,
I
absolutely.
do see you have a $5 up there.
Yeah, that's, I think what Carl is asking is for this discount. Is
Oh,
there a
the
minimum
volume.
volume?
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer to that, so I'll find out.
50, right?
Yeah, because I think I'm probably gonna do that, but I don't have that many employees.
Yes.
So.
I do believe
It's
that,
also okay if I have to pay the $2.20.
I do believe if you have an EIN number through this, if you go through this rewards hub, I don't believe that there's like, if I'm gonna order 5, I might not get the discount. Whereas I'm getting a card for $9, but it has a $10 value. What I know I will get is that fee won't be applied.
Gotcha, okay.
So that I do
That's
know.
nice, yeah.
So again, this is just one way we can use this program. So there's multiple ways that we can use this this program. Right now, we're starting with this buy during this time period, get entered to win shopping sprees as an incentive for people to, of course, buy gift cards, with the chance that they'll win these $500 gift cards. We also, hopefully, I've approached CDOT, and we'll see what they say, about funding a more significant capital portion for this, where we could do a BOGO program. Buy a $10 gift card, get a $10 gift card for free. So we have to have a decent amount of capital in the fund for us to be able to make that kind of program even worth it. It's done in many other municipalities. I sent the case study for another highway authority that's doing this in another state to CDOT and said, hey, this is a great way to track and infuse money into the system. My goal is, starting the first of the year, is pulling all participating businesses and not making this retail focused. So starting to pull in other businesses as we look at doing another campaign. So I'll take your guys' guidance on how we want to do that. We identified, an initiative of this board was to help support retailers right now since they're down and they're struggling. So kind of our next thought is, do we want to pull it into lodging next because they're struggling? Or do we want to just go broad and just put all businesses and whoever wants to participate can? That's kind of what the board's direction, how you guys want me to go about onboarding people into this program. Again, it costs us nothing. costs the merchants nothing, and it costs us nothing. So, pretty good solution.
Done.
Huh?
That's
Your
what I was gonna
time.
say. It
It
does
cost
cost.
me a lot of time, I will tell you that, I worked all day yesterday getting this done. This is the flyer for it, this is a forward-facing flyer, meaning like this QR code is how you buy the, gift cards. This links to our yeah, okay, cool. I was gonna make sure I didn't show you a part of our website that was broken before I showed it. Okay, cool. This links to our webpage first before it links to the gift card website. So this QR code links to our shop local page, which then has this, which then if you click this, opens you up a new tab to there. But this also has, information on that on there. It's also featured on our homepage now. Internet is going very slow because I'm doing too many things at one time. It's also on our homepage, as well as the beginning of our portrait of a shop owner series, which is another thing that is now live on the website. I'm streaming, doing too many things at one time. Okay, so this now has our portrait of the shop owner series. The first portrait we have completed is on Sit and Chill. There's a video up here that people can watch that kind of tells the story about Sit and Chill, who they are, what they are, and then Delightfully, Steve has a portrait up here. What I would like to do is get a portrait like this, where it's just a picture of you guys with a little bit of why you're a business owner, why you're important to this community, of all of our board members next. So this would then list under here, Katie, Tara, the whole board member team on here, so that we can start telling your guys' stories and why, and giving for your volunteer service. But the first video volunteer portrait is here, and then with this campaign also goes a whole social campaign that I've built that's telling the stories of our shop owners with video and portraits and Instagram, social, and paid advertising through Fox. That's all happening right now. This campaign, the portrait of a shop owner, runs now through right before Christmas. Any questions? Okay, cool. Flyers, take them, enjoy them, sell them to your friends. Any other questions? I think that was honestly everything in my director's report that I wanted to have like an actual conversation about. Was there anything anybody else had conversations, questions, or thoughts about?
It's multimedia.
Yeah. Yeah, so the multimedia walking tour, Dylan's here, so Dylan and I can talk briefly about this. This is a grant that we applied in combo, the city and us, as from History Colorado. It's a no match grant through the 250, 150 initiatives that are coming out through the state, which is awesome and super exciting. So that's what that is. Dylan, will you want to speak a little bit about what we kind of decided and did?
Sure, so just for a timeline perspective, we won't know until early January if we're successful. So, but essentially what the program would be is, like the visitor center, visitor center historical society kind of has this little booklet, which is very nice, that has a number of properties around town, but it's a booklet. We have this really powerful website now, and people like we can really build off of that to create this really impressive multimedia sort of map that takes you to all of the sights and sounds of the city and provides a bit of historical context, provides some of that storytelling that is so key to this marketing campaign. Some of the stuff we've done, that video that was shown at the last meeting, that was done. Like where stories live, that's like our tagline. That really is kind of the goal, I think, of this, is to say so many buildings and properties have such an interesting story to tell that's integral to Colorado. And so let's highlight that in a way that, you know, works in the 21st century and gets people all over the city and staying a lot longer than they would otherwise.
Absolutely. Does that answer your question?
And I think at the start, it's probably like, Patsy is maybe doing like, 10 to 15 sites around the city that are really well highlighted, but you can add more to the map. And some of the preservation successes around town can really be highlighted to kind of help show how much business owners and other property owners have invested. Project Support's a good example, Club Hotel is a good example, you know, it's like taking this building that means a lot and still finding use for it in the big world. So. But we won't know until
January.
And I think there might even be appetite for it even if you don't get the grant, but I'm not telling you straight a lot of that.
Yeah. Okay, any other board questions on the director's report? There is budget in there. We obviously are talking budget tonight at the work session. I know a few of you will be there. I discussed with Andy and the mayor kind of the format of how that work session is going to be looking. We will it's kind of be more of a holistic conversation. Andy's gonna be talking about some things. So from your guys' board perspective, if you wanna come to kind of support why we're asking for the budget we are, or what the importance of it is to the business community, just so that council has and sees your voices. We start at 5:30, but probably we'll be talking around six-ish. I would be around that time, but I'll be here at 5:30. I know Mary Jane is planning on coming. Steve is planning on coming. Tara has expressed interest in coming. However many of you can come, it does help for city council to see the support of the initiatives and the importance of the initiatives. And Andy has made some shifts and changes, and there has been some discussion, so it will be a fun and interesting conversation. So come. It's important. What you will see is that we have actively spent our budget. Pretty much to completion. So that feels good. And you know, when we look at our sales tax numbers, which we're still in September in the rears, but we are still up 2.1 over year right now, when many other municipalities in our region and similar to us are not. So I would have to say at least we're doing something, right? Okay, so from that, we would like to move into roundtable. So now this roundtable has been many different things over the course of this experience. But I think what Steve and I kind of talked about this roundtable being is things that are concerning to your business, any key updates you'd like to talk regarding your business, if you want to share general numbers or up, down, feeling stretched, why you might be feeling stretched, key areas of concern. If you have large areas concerning about the parking or about whatever it may be, this is your opportunity for us to kind of have a roundtable and discuss it, right? Okay, hold on, we'll let Steve start.
Well, kind of back to the director's report also, are we gonna talk about parking in this meeting
Yes,
at this time, or,
this time is now the
Okay.
time.
well, just interested on the perspective and what has maybe changed since our last meeting on what the options are for potential parking solutions in the future. And then also how that relates to the Thursday night meeting and what this, if that meeting is as billed, where there might be some people coming to the meeting that want to know a lot more information about the parking and fees and pay parking. What is the stance of the cities and the boards?
Say, man,
Yes, please do.
all right. I would say that it's very important to realize why we were going to build a parking structure. And the bottom line is to fix the parking problem. We understand we're not firing on all cylinders when people come with money that they want to spend into the community. And they get frustrated after polluting, going around the pattern like sharks patrolling for a spot. And they get back on the interstate and go somewhere else. You know, Steve pointed out to me if you were to see, I say if you were to see a 4% improvement, you can't take a victory lap. Because the reason why you saw a 4% improvement was just inflation. We had to increase our menu prices. The way you actually can get improvement, because we're parked out, is to add parking spaces. And to Steve's question, we're not waiting on government funds. We are actively spending, and we've acquired a sizable war chest in the parking fund. We just striped 51 more spaces here across from what's gonna be the new police station. That is a sign of things to come. Just because we can't talk about it publicly, when we acquire property, we do those discussions behind closed doors. Please don't think for a minute it isn't going on, because it most certainly is. So right now we have about $900,000, and we are actively looking and negotiating for more surface parking. And we're anticipating about $970,000 coming into the parking fund annually to stop the problem. The problem needs to be fixed, whether we fix it with a parking structure or we continue to acquire more surface spaces. We're going to accomplish the same goal. We're going to let people know there's a spot for them here too. They don't have to fight and get frustrated and get on the interstate and leave. And Steve and so many others won't be parked out. The capacity limit is gonna be how many people can you handle? It's gonna be how many tables do you have? And he shouldn't be in a situation where he's only making money 4 months a year. He should be able to take full advantage of the people that care enough to come into our community, that like our community, want to spend money here. We need to have a spot for them. So I just want you to know, the best we could do in parking structure was about $70,000 to $120,000 a space. Even at the low end, 70,000 a space. We have been successful at acquiring surface spaces for under 20 grand. So we're going to accomplish this same goal for a fraction of the money. And I just wanted to assure you, negotiations are ongoing. There's going to be improvement. There's going to be more spaces. And Steve, did you have anything further?
Yeah, again, just kind of preparing for the Thursday night meeting. Now that the parking structure is currently off docket, how does it affect the mobility center and different options with the mobility center?
Well, we are trying to enter into an agreement with CDOT because we've never nailed down what their $6.3 million can be spent on. I'll give you an example. How many parking spaces are they expecting for their 6.3 million? We know they're gonna want some, right? So let's hammer that out. How much electrification do they want? And we know they want some for electric charging. And frankly, it may be a deal breaker, or it may be okay. And also, not to split hairs, but in the mobility hub being off the table, it may not be off the table. Just because there could be significant participation from the state. And I would point to, I don't know if any of you have had relatives come into DIA lately and rent a car, or perhaps you yourself have. There's a $3 per day fee now on all rent-a-cars per day. This is significant. It's expected to raise about $119 million annually. Now, I bring this up because one of the stated goals of that fund is to fund mobility hubs. So we may not get federal funding, but we may have some relief with the state in the future. But in the meantime, we are spending the $2.4 million that we were given to design this thing. It'll be shovel ready. Also, that $2.4 million, there was no match by the city. That's a freebie, that whole $2.4 million. So at least if money does come forward, from the state, a combination, we're ready to roll. But in the meantime, again, not to belabor the point, but the whole reason for building the parking structure was to put an end to this horrible parking problem that we have during the season. And we are going to accomplish this at a fraction of the price. We are gonna get it done. And we're not waiting.
Again, anybody know anything about the trail closures?
I'm glad you asked, and Andy, you certainly, jump in, but I will tell you, we had a great meeting, with Colorado Parks and Wildlife folks. They actually showed a lot of flexibility, like maybe not even just arbitrarily closing December 1st, but to see how the weather is, because that kind of drives the bighorn sheep population. And if the weather is still decent and the bighorn sheep aren't trying to congregate, in a sensitive area of the park, we may let it, say, go to the second or third week. So they were, very flexible. Frankly, that's an improvement, over last year where we just went with the date. And also they are considering leaving part of the park open.
That actually has been agreed to.
Oh, thank you, Andy.
Yep,
Yes.
that's the latest.
Yeah, anything else, you think?
So the, one of the things that was suggested is not only the dates, but also what about closing just certain sections of the park that are more impactful on the sheep or can be more impactful on sheep. And, it's really the critical area or the lower part, and the more rocky crags and, the rocky outcroppings, that sort of thing. So, so the park will be, as the mayor mentioned, there may be some flexibility on when it closes. The lower section, on whether it's December 1st or maybe a little bit later in December, that'll be communicated later this month.
I thought it was January one, not,
Last year it was.
last year was, they changed it.
Well, they
Well-
wanted to, yeah, it's,
Last
A
year,
we were a little
the
late in the
meeting was a
game.
little late.
I see.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, so it'd be, through March, but then, the upper section will remain open through that whole period. So that means basically from the top down to the hub. And the main access would be off Virginia Canyon Road. It would be that emergency access, which, it's not just emergency access, that's the main trail off of, Virginia Canyon Road would be the way you get in the park and get out of the park.
Would
So-
that be uphill only or no?
Nope, it'll be the same type of use,
Okay.
in that upper part of the mountain, but, just the bottom part will be closed. And Kamba will have some strong barriers to try to prevent people from continuing down the hill. I mean, it'll be probably buck and rail, barriers there. So that's the plan. So the good news is that, yes, the park will be closed again this year, or at least there will be a closure, but it's not gonna be just blanket the whole park, so it will still be able to be used of the park through the winter.
It'll be interesting parking dynamic, how it
Parking is a
changes.
challenge, and that's, Colin's working on communicating, I think the messaging is gonna be to continue parking the way you've always parked, down along Colorado Boulevard, down below, and then bike up. Don't park on Virginia Canyon, Road, because it's already, narrow. The county doesn't allow it on, the sections that are, outside the city limits anyhow. So, that's, and again, that'll be a little bit of a challenge for sure, but, then for hikers, that'll be even more of a challenge. If they're walking, they'll have to walk a little farther.
Well, because last week we talked a little bit about, or last month, we talked a little about drilling down on the sales tax numbers and trying to figure out, we talked about it on the emails. But I was kind of curious to how the trail closures affects them, because it obviously affect the east side of town very positively. In the downtown district, not so much, but when they're closed, how much does it affect the number? It's kind of serious. I think, you probably can tell from your sales, does it affect your sales at all when trails are closed?
Last year it was hard to say. This year we definitely see a significant drop off in sales daily when the weather is not good. So, yeah.
we have figured out, there's a couple of things that we're doing, and I told Steve this, there's a couple of things we're doing. Guy has figured out how we can, look at sales tax data from downtown to East End. So we have figured out how to do that. So in your guys' monthly reports, I'll now show that. And then Jess and I with the county are working on hopefully acquiring a new, fingers crossed, sounds like it might be a good solution for all of us. It's kind of the hole we need. Data software similar to Placer, except it's spending data. So we can see people's spending habits, how much money they're spending, where they're spending their money, how they're spending their money, what category, regionality, the whole thing. We can get very granular with it, more than we can get granular with our sales tax. Plus it's live data versus having to wait 2 months for the data. It's also forward data. So it projects out, I know it's creepy. It projects out spending data as well. So if someone books lodging in advance, it then makes an assumption based off of their spending patterns about how much money you could potentially see from this person.
On data, I don't know, Jess, did you want to talk about the lodging data? When we're talking about data, because the lodging data is a little interesting.
Yeah.
The struggle one or the new software we're looking into?
No, the old data, the 26%.
Oh, okay, you wanna talk about bad news. So, right now we're using Visa to track our data and that goes by zip code. When you're looking at that in a presentation we recently gave, it's down 26.9%. That's very jarring, especially knowing that we have new hotels and other non-traditional lodging coming on board. When the county looked into this, we as a whole are only down 5%. And that's because we are excluding one municipality from collecting lodging tax, which means that municipality is down 21%. While the rest of us are still down, it's not nearly as jarring, but there are some solutions coming forward.
So it was just an interesting thing, because like on tourism, when we talk about it, like Deanna and I are both like, well, we've put new lodging into this, so how you down 26%, but we've added lodging. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because there's not other but then if you really do look at Georgetown, they do have a change in how some of their properties are operating. And so they are the ones that have the huge decrease, not everything else.
And this platform will give us a tool and a method to look at that data more holistically as well as more detailed. So we can be very specific and have checks and balances for our data in a way that we currently don't have. So hopefully that is, anyway, keeping moving.
Last thing is our numbers, we're down 2% year to date, which is really good in our business. And Mondays and Tuesdays, for whatever reason, are the big drop off days, or other days are pretty normal to last year.
That's really good in your business, is that what you said? Can you tell us a little more about that?
While most restaurants, especially breweries, are down, going out of business left and right. And Denver is like the highest rated restaurant closures in the past
Oh, I did see that.
20 years or something like that. So, and basically this is all on summer numbers. I felt like last winter, be a little pessimistic, with the spending patterns changed. And so we did an amazing summer. I mean, everybody in this whole community did great. But the winters are tapering off. People used to be the highway busy, town would be busy. It's not happening like it used to be. And people are knuckling down and just getting home instead of getting off the highway last year. Kind of feel the same thing's going to happen this year, so we're preparing for it. But our visits are down 5%. Part of that was the raised prices, but yet only being down 2% is good. If you talk to your food suppliers, they'll tell you how Idaho Springs and Clear County is doing amazing compared to our surrounding communities, Denver included. They're like, food suppliers are down, beer distributors are doing business, beverages, not just beer, beverages, liquor, alcohol's a category is way down, a lot of businesses survive on alcohol sales. So to only be down 2% is really good. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because I was anecdotally talking to Jonah about this the other day, because like our kids are Gen Zers, they don't order drinks when they go to restaurants.
Nope.
They drink water,
Hmm.
like almost universally, even when I'm with like my kids as friends. It's a really interesting like switch.
Big comment, it's kind of things, the Gen Z just doesn't consume alcohol like my generation at least.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. They can tell people human species has been alcohol soaked for 2,000 years. And at one point, you couldn't drink the water. You know, that's why. you drink
That's
alcohol.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
So things have changed, but we just have to learn to adjust and change with it. That's it.
All right, Katie?
Sorry, I was trying to see if I had a year to date. I do know that our tap house has had like the 4 best months that we've ever had, you know, this summer with the biking traffic. As far as the restaurant goes, it seems pretty normal. These last 2 weekends, we were up almost double our sales from last year.
Yeah.
But then like some days of the week are like slow, you know, so it's on track for that. It's just the weekends are kind of a hit or a miss right now. It's weird. So for us, it's kind of hard to track. Because the biking community does have a huge presence on our side of town, so. Absolutely.
Oh, and you spoke a little bit about how parking down there, any things you want to bring up around parking or?
No, not really. Honestly, people have been super respectful. I did have one customer this last week come in before he parked in our parking lot and he like found his way into the building because all of our doors are locked, found like the one unlocked door and he's like, hey, I'll leave you my credit card just to let you know that we're gonna come back here and eat. I was like, I'm just gonna believe you're a good person and come back. I don't need your credit card.
Please don't leave me
Yeah, I
there.
appreciate
What's the
the
credit
effort.
limit?
Yeah, that was before we opened, so I don't care. And that's the thing, if they get there at 9 AM, park in our parking lot, and then, you know, they come and patron after, I don't care. It's when they park there during business hours and we turn and burn those spots pretty quickly. So for the most part, we've seen just everybody be super respectful. So, yeah, other than that, I haven't seen or heard many complaints. I did have one person ask me, there's no way to extend your parking like an extra like 15 or 20 minutes is what he said on the app. And he's like, I hit that 2-hour mark. He's like, I want to come in and grab food, but a lot of times I hit that 2-hour mark. He's like, I can't extend my parking. I have to pay for another hour or another 2 hours. So he did mention maybe having a different option for maybe just extending it that extra half hour even.
I'm sure we could do that 50-cent extension.
Yeah,
Added on as an easy feature. I'll email Interstate about that, but I don't think that should be a problem.
he was just like, even just like a half hour. He's like, I don't want to pay for another full hour, another 2 hours. Like there's no options there. I didn't personally go and look, so I couldn't tell you.
No, you're right.
Okay. So,
That is a correct statement.
so he was like, I just an extra like 15
Yeah.
minutes to 30 minutes would be great. So that's the only negative feedback I've had on it. So other than that, people don't really seem to, they don't seem to care. Oh, except that the little QR codes are really high. Like if you go over to our side of town, they're like 8 feet high and some of the shorter people have a hard time getting them. We've got to watch it.
Being part of that group.
That was nothing.
Okay, I need a step ladder to get that on my.
They
phone.
have, it's kind of, the struggle's
But,
real.
you know, we
so.
have to have a minimum of 7 feet to the bottom of the sign.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense,
Yeah.
but like you.
Because
can
I
see
would
there's a little
demand
bit of
that at my
struggle.
height, it'd be like 4 feet.
Yeah.
We'll get you guys some window clings too,
Okay.
so that you guys could have a lot of the downtown district has like little like window clings or mounted things.
That'd be great.
So we'll get you some like paper window mounting things from
People can
Interstate.
just scan it right there on the window. So
Correct, so you could like put it on
the
the outside of the window so people can scan it through that way.
Okay, that'd be great.
Awesome. Tara,
Business. I think over 2025, it has been down, nothing crazy, but wedding season's over. We had our last wedding. And then, I don't know if this is like an industry trend or just like having the business open longer, but I'm booking a lot now. So I have like a ton of inquiries for 2026 that are out and
We're seeing that too.
Yeah, same
okay, so
here.
maybe it's an industry trend because I feel like.
Yeah,
those
which
things-
is a weird time of year. We feel like it was a different time of year before, but now all of a sudden in November, we have a ton of interest.
Do you know what part of time for next year?
Ours is 2027.
Just like, oh, wow.
That's
yeah.
way out there. Look,
Yeah.
People are booking over the summer for next summer, like year in advance.
Wow.
For just like a room, it's all.
Interesting. Yeah, so we're like halfway to our normal capacity right now, but
Nice.
for setup, so that's great. We have a bunch of inquiries out. And the street opened up, which I haven't had any issues with that. I think it's still been a lot of pedestrian traffic and no problems there. I did have a question, was like, Sadie, do you need anything from us for the holiday ramble?
Help. Carla and I are doing pretty well. We managed to get, we pulled an audible and moved the holiday ramble downtown. So the market will be on 16th on Sunday instead of at Argo. We've got a good amount of vendors coming, so if anybody wants to help set up breakdown on those days.
Okay.
Sunday specifically, we don't need as much help on Saturday. That's a pretty narrow thing and we have that kind of assigned, but we could use some help set up tear down on Sunday.
Are we still in need of some tents?
Steve has tents, Argo has tents, we have tents. We did our count and I lost that piece of paper.
There's no question that we have like 7 tents.
Yeah.
How they getting there? You said, look, you have something to hold them down.
Yeah.
And get them back. I mean, that can help. But that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. My thought on that was that's kind of what I need help with. I need help kind of with the logistics of getting things set up, put up, ready for vendors to come in. Most vendors are pretty adept at setting up their own tent. So if I provide them a tent, they can set it up. We have some sandbags, that we have. However, it would be helpful to have some water kegs if possible. If you could even just bring me a pallet of water kegs on that day, we'd probably manage it as we get closer. But the holiday ramble could use some extra hands, without, we do have good nonprofit support, CCCAE is helping. The rec is also helping a little bit as well with this one. So that's helpful. However, that is still just me.
And the tent's gonna be for Saturday and Sunday?
No,
Saturday.
just Sunday,
Sunday.
just Sunday. The market's on Sunday.
What time on Sunday are you hoping to set up tents?
We'll probably be starting setup around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. The market opens at 11.
I think promoting, we wanna make sure we're pushing it out through social media, and you don't have signs in your windows, let's make sure you got signs in the windows. You wanna drive traffic.
Yeah.
Is there hay rides too?
Yes.
Yes.
And I had a question, I was talking to Amy about this yesterday. Are they tractor pulled or are they gonna be horse drawn?
I would believe they're tractor pulled.
They are tractor, so they won't be going through town, right? Right? Can they go through town? Okay, right? They should be talking about like the actual route of the hay rides.
Yes,
Like, are
so
they
the
street
route,
legal?
the route of the hayride right now is tractor pulled.
Sadie, I don't know if you can hear me, but we lost sound online.
Because then they should still be able to hear the chat.
Okay.
Then just let it back in. Almost always works.
Okay. Hey guys, for those online, I'm working on fixing the sound right now. So just, yeah, now it's on my computer. So just give me a second. Yeah.
That
sounds good.
Sure.
Sure.
Rose asked me about Garland would, so we have like a week and a half basically, if I was gonna try and push that to keep up by Small Business Saturday. Does the city have budget for that, or is that unrealistic?
Are we doing the same thing as last year?
Try and
We could
work on.
We could do the same thing as last year. I'll be really honest. It was a logistical nightmare for me last year. Between trying to figure out putting it up, getting it delivered and all of that. This team of one is not interested in delivering and logistically managing Garland, especially when Public Works basically cannot touch it or put it up. They could help me maybe slightly distribute it, but because it was putting it up on private buildings, Public Works was not able to help support me in that method, which meant I had to then find someone to install it, put it up, pay them to do that, pay them to take it down, had to harangue Steve at the last minute to do more things that Steve doesn't have time for. I lost my ability. It completely fell off of my radar. I will be fully honest and transparent that there have been other things I've obviously been focusing on for you guys, and I do not have capacity to. Yeah, if someone wants to take care of it and do it, the Garland looks gorgeous and beautiful, but it is a logistical
Yeah,
nightmare.
I'm open to it, it's just like a tight timeline, and Rose just asked me about it today, so I
Yeah.
didn't know if like. there
She
was-
also asked me
if there
about it.
was- Yeah, that's what she said. Like, is there budget for it? Like, if I were to
We-
find someone to do the labor?
We do have money in the beautification budget that we didn't, because of the money we raised from flowers, even with donating to the skate park from that fund, we do have money in beautification that we could do Garland with
Okay.
if we wanted to. I am just being very honest. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
For
have
city
time.
drive.
I'm happy to support, because I feel like I'm not doing.
Yeah,
much
for city.
right now, So I'd like to do something else, but I just wanna make sure.
But
that
we could do similar to what we did for flowers, where if businesses wanted to
Yeah.
buy in,
We
we.
buy, from Mary Jane, normally it takes an order every year. We buy 175 chunk of garlic.
I had one last year. They're great. It lasted through January.
Last
Yeah,
year,
it's-
FYI,
it's
we switched that, and Tara,
If the same vendor and Rose was just like, I'm gonna do Argo, do you wanna do any for the city, basically, so
Yeah.
it's the same.
So can we order one through you?
Yeah, I could have. And Rose doesn't have to. I'll connect with Rose on it, and then I'll look at the budget on it, and then I'll see. I think there's like a light installation guy, a local light installation guy. I was talking to his mom yesterday, so maybe I can get it done.
Also
By
the Sean, the window.
Saturday. I'll just ask her who bought it. and, like,
Oh, that's Sean,
finish it.
okay.
That's Sean, you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Cause he told me he would do it.
He told me to do it too, but I'm thinking of somebody else.
Oh, okay.
That potentially could be more affordable, who's like a, former student in high school.
But we'd like to order one for time to
Okay.
be doing it, and then I can help distribute them up and down Main Street if that's a thing.
I can do that too, and I can just coordinate the delivery with Rose.
I'd like to order one too.
And I want to order one for Price of Sport too.
Okay, yeah, $75, right, that's what I paid before.
Yeah, that's what we did last year. They were 75 each.
Okay.
For the large.
75 feet.
75 feet, they were,
It's 100 and some
they were
bucks.
100 and some odd dollars last year. I can look at the invoices if we want to look at what we paid
If
last year.
we're able to pay labor, we'll just do straight wholesale. Because the city can afford labor. We don't need to pay.
Well, and we have money for both the garlands themselves, so if we want to pay wholesale, we could buy them out of the city budget and then invoice just like we did last year. I just don't have the best.
Okay, I'm gonna work on that.
Cool, awesome. Thank you, Tara. I appreciate it. All right, so Shane. Oh,
I think the city would be open to doing, if the community wants it, the garland on the lamppost down. Because that's relatively easy. That is city property. I
Yep.
think if we can just schedule it in advance with Public Works to get that done. I thought it looked really nice. And you have the big red bows and the garland, and if we're ordering wholesale, garland, maybe that's something we could consider.
yeah, I mean,
I think I think we could, we have the money for that. I
We
think
do.
could- And then we could provide the labor. at
Ed,
least
you're
for-
on
for that
here.
piece.
do you?
I'm volunteering you, Ed, I'm sorry, but.
Ed, just so you know, you're being volunteered for something. I
I
will
hear
talk
him,
to
I
you.
hear him.
I can't hear you, Ed.
I'm listening.
Oh, cussing me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, in all seriousness, I do think it's a relatively, it's not a huge lift, but I think it looks nice, in
It is,
my opinion.
yeah.
Do you feel like
I
it's
mean,
impactful enough?
it's one thing when you're decorating buildings and all that, and you got ladders and, you're up at the height and I think it's another thing if we're talking, I don't know, a dozen lampposts downtown or whatever it is.
Great. I don't know what's happening with the sound. They can hear us, but now I can't hear Ed. So he says like he's saying something. It looks like he is, but.
And I think we've traditionally done something at City Hall here too on the railing, so I think we could take a strand here and compose. I don't know if we still have the bows.
We do,
We still have the bows.
we
So
still
all
have those.
All we need is garland.
Yes, Ed should have the bows, and ribbon from last year somewhere. If not. But I do know, I'll talk to Ed and see where we're at on that as well, so, okay.
Overall, I think from last year, we're down a bit and then slower since October. So hopefully people are coming in from Oakland to stay in the term. Just to touch base on parking, ever since the paid parking started in East End, a lot of people are parking next door in our lot, across the street. The lot next to the old tow place, because nobody manages it. So they spread out, they're like, not cooking, but they have all their chairs out and their dogs running around. I'm just thinking, oh, okay, because it's free, they're just kind of migrating closer and closer to not have to pay. So
Mhm.
you'll see that a lot.
Okay,
It's good to know.
good
Are you
to
talking about
know.
outside of like Hill Daddy's and then across, like out front of, Allied Towing?
Yes.
Okay, and
That
then,
empty area, it was almost all full on Saturday.
I noticed that too.
The past couple weekends, I've noticed, some Starbucks patrons do park closer to our property, but not usually, because they have to walk. Larger vehicles and then people all spread out and thinking, what's going on? But then I saw the signs up for the paid parking. I said, "Oh, okay, so they're just not wanting to pay the however many dollars."
is it bikers?
Yes,
Okay,
because you can see there.
they're like
there's-
tailgating back out behind Hill Daddy's and stuff, huh?
And then you'll see the larger vehicles parked at the skate park now too. Okay, so I assume there's no paid parking.
There's not currently paid parking on the skate park. However, the skate park is activated as overflow bike parking on Park Idaho
Because
Springs.
you'll see their really large vehicles and the bikers and just, it's interesting, because don't imagine parking is tens and tens of dollars, it's probably a couple dollars.
Yeah, it's $5.
So my husband and I always kind of laugh it off and just be like, oh, I guess they want to pay a couple bucks.
They have $10,000.
You're a lot more.
Yeah, but that's been happening over the years, not just bikers. It's like people who break down or want to eat or talk on the phone or change their baby's diapers or, throw their drinks in our lot. It's just stuff that happens.
of those.
And people unfortunately want to just run around where they think there's no cameras and they're just relieving themselves. I'm just thinking, there's a gas station right across the street. And so
Do that on 103 too.
it's terrible.
Hey, Steve,
And
do you know
just want you to
where
know,
the
I've
red
taken
bows are
notice
that
at the skate
were hung
park,
up last
uh,
year for Christmas?
2 weekends ago, there were 2
Ah.
kids skateboarding,
All right,
and there was
cool.
21 cars.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Because
Probably in the drive
Right.
there.
bike folks This was approximately the case yesterday. And my fear is that when the rec center is going to try to have an event, the parking is going to be completely monopolized.
We already have that problem at Pumpkin Smash.
Yeah, see, so, we may have to limit, the number of V-Camp spots or just ban V-Camp parking, from that area, so. And I gotta tell, I have no idea how that,
Your 3 minutes is up, sir.
wow.
No more talking there.
Plugged in with the, public comment. But anyways, I want you to know, we're gonna have to
address that before our busy season comes, because
it's gonna be a problem.
Even right now, I think a car kind of broke down and they're right next to our lot. And it's been maybe almost 2 days now. But usually tow trucks come and pick them up relatively quickly, but I noticed that happens. And then for the stickers for the local discount, if you want to look at this first, I can do that on the side.
Sweet, I'll send you a list, that would be great. Okay, awesome. Lana?
Yeah, so our business is, pretty much doubled year over year, but, we're in a unique position where we're starting up, so like, we don't really know if that means anything to anybody. Our November's almost tripled what we did last year, so, we didn't see as much of a slowdown in October, but we're kind of starting to see it more in November, so overall, it's been pretty good, I guess, but again, we're still growing, so I don't really know what normal is. I'm thinking year 4 or 5 we'll know what maybe normal is, but we're not there yet. I did want to talk about, so we're gonna do a film festival next November. And so I just wanted everybody to know that that's happening. It's gonna be the second weekend of November in 2026. And we're hoping to make this an annual thing. And we have a whole group who's been working on it since August, and we have logos and social media, and Lindsay's putting our website together, and basically like and then this morning we formed an actual board in the committee. Clear Creek County Arts and Education is going to be kind of our business like arm of it, but we're going to be operating kind of as a separate committee in that. And so we're going to start marketing and advertising around town and at events and everything to let people know that it's coming.
I also definitely need to give you, Jess and I connected with the woman in Boulder, who's the main
Oh, yeah.
person for the Sundance Film Festival, and she's offered essentially exclusive like support to help and give you guys access to some of the Sundance help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're doing.
That would be really cool.
We're doing neo-westerns, so our famous neo-westerns, I'm trying to think of what else about it. It's like a blur. We meet every 2 weeks and it's just like been this really crazy pace. We have a logo, we have all the things, like obviously, yes, we'll get with the Sundance people. We're gonna start putting together like our jury and start having people submit for films. And our hope is that we can grow it countywide. We're gonna probably start out just in Idaho Springs in 2026, so that's pretty much where most of us are located, who's kind of working on it. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be good. And then like we're working with Arts and Education. So like Carla was talking this morning about some of the like theaters that might be coming online. So 2026, we're just gonna get going, get started, see what happens. But then as we're adding some of these other arts and education venues online, we'll probably be moving into those venues for like more of our premier events and those types of things. And then hopefully engaging other parts of the county as well. But that just becomes a logistical issue, and I'm sure everybody knows it would be great. We talk about this a lot at county tourism, is how we have county-wide activities, but it really becomes like a logistical issue for people to be able to navigate the county easily. And so, but that's kind of our hope, and we're excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you.
yeah,
That sounds amazing. I wanna like know more about.
We do have some grant funding. I don't know.
We
if-
know.
Yeah.
Well, now we'll know.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
starting to get into it.
2026, we'll know all about it, and then 27 is when Sundance comes. So, and Sundance has been very clear, from GovCon and all the things that we have attended, that they want all of Colorado as active as possible, when it comes to the film festival theme.
And Colorado has a grant opportunity
Yep.
too for, and so.
Lindsay just
Lindsay's-
mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah, so Lindsay's on that for us and so we formed our board this morning, like Jonah's gonna be president, I'm doing secretary and treasurer, Jess is coming on our board as promotions. Michael, I don't know, he lives over on Wall Street, Michael Kastenbaum, he's gonna be kind of our talent VP. Lindsay's gonna be our funding VP, so she's gonna help us work through some of those grants. She's already reached out to Colorado. They're already perfectly happy to help us get this started, being a rural community and everything, so I think that the money is gonna work itself out.
Yeah, we definitely there's a lot of momentum around that for sure. Just because of the initiatives with Sundance coming in, it's a huge Colorado.
And we're looking at
initiative.
November, because we're like, we need something in November. That would be great if about this time every year, we have a little
That's
boost.
the answer to that question. It's what, Jess, when is Sundance date wise? Do you remember? I forgot.
It's in January.
I think it's
believe.
in January, yeah. I believe
Historically,
it's,
it's been January.
I think it's January of 27, but again, and the lady that's from the Boulder, Visit Boulder, is like the reason that Boulder got the Sundance. She's like, oh yeah, like we want more of the Colorado municipalities to be participating because it enhances Sundance's.
Yeah, and we're so
Reach.
close.
Yep.
To the metro area that it's even easy for people just to come up for the day events, and we're looking at starting at probably like a 3-day type of thing, potentially going longer, depending upon, it's a volunteer logistical issue.
Wow, don't we have lots of those?
What?
Cool. I'm gonna bounce this to the back, into the community space. Anybody back there have an update, roundtable? I got a new face, not new face to me, but do you want to introduce yourself to the team?
My name is MJ Coates. I work for a company called One Bridge Security, and I'm hoping to get on the December 15th meeting and kind of present our services. We do on-site security patrols, time stamped, time verified, and that's what we do.
You are on the meeting in December, so you
Thank
guys
you,
will be
Sadie.
hearing more from him there. All right, Carla?
So a couple things, arts and education, we are in a big push. I think you guys have all heard me say this before. We have the 1.538 million. We need to show community support in the form of an additional 300,000. I think our crew is getting pretty nervous with the government shutdown, and CCI has been coming back to us sooner, asking for updates. And so we feel like there's people trying to claw for the arts money at the government level right now, at the state level. So getting really nervous on that. So we're looking at some options, but all of that leads to a big push for Colorado Gives. So Clear Creek County is on Colorado Gives. Clear Creek Arts and Education is on Colorado Gives. And right now, through the beginning of December, if you go on and do a $100 ongoing donation, they will match the first $100. And I have not confirmed or denied, I will not confirm or deny, but I think you can cancel that after you start the donation. And with that, we also talked to a number of our other nonprofits in Clear Creek County. And so right now I've got Comba, I've got Loaves and Fishes. I went out to a bunch of them. I can't remember. I have like 5 of them that have come back, Schools Foundation, and they're all going to be on a Colorado Gives, Give Where You Live banner, basically. And so that's going to promote through this time of year for people that give local, and we're all banding together. And if you don't want to give for arts, then maybe you'll see that you can give for Charlie's Place is one of them. And so I went on and looked and saw who all was on there, and so we reached out. So the ones that have gotten back to me, we will add them to that logo. And Happy Mama is donating 2 or 3 banners, a bunch of yard signs, and then they're going to do table cards. So any restaurants, maybe if you were, and any retailers that we can put the cards out that just say, it'll basically say, Give Where You Live, Colorado Gives, and then it'll have the logos for the local nonprofits on it. So
We'll also be promoting that at the Ramble.
yeah. And yes, that's the other thing. then we'll have the yard signs by then as well and the banners up, so we just have to figure out where we wanna put those banners, I think we have 2 or 3 of them coming in with Ira, but they are donating those services in total for this year. And so in the future, we'll have the plan ahead of schedule, and so we'll kind of ramp up to that as well this time of year. Colorado kids and our community to get local.
Very cool. Thanks, Carla.
Thanks.
All right. I'm gonna prompt us over to Dylan. Dylan, come on up. Yeah, come to the table. So you guys, all got in your packets, or you guys all got a memo from Dylan about the comprehensive plan, around economic development and tourism goals. So I'm gonna let Dylan kind of give a little bit of background, talk a little bit about it, and then we're gonna jump into some ideas around it.
Sure, yeah, and of course, if you don't have ideas today, I would say give it a month or so to be thinking of things and just send it over to me. Because there's still plenty of time as I'm working through the comprehensive plan updates before it would be finalized. So to kind of kick it off, the comprehensive plan is just sort of a heading document for the city that says this is how we want to grow and this is how we want to prioritize growth, development, and resources as we move forward in all of these different categories, water quality, environment, housing, affordability, on and on. Economic development and tourism is an important part of that. And since, it's so integral in that now, better to talk to about what we want to see as kind of vision guiding documents and ideas for the next, let's say 10 years, 5 to 10 years. And I included in the packet the previous section for economic development and tourism. You'll see that objectives are very broad: maintain a strong business district, support tourism and special event activities, support development and redevelopment of the East End Business District, those sorts of things. And then they get much more in-depth strategies. And so we can follow a similar structure, or we could totally reinvent the wheel for as far as how you want it to look and feel and include. And to start it off, this is very helpful for me. I have a survey that I put together that should be like 6 questions, and I've added a few, but basically my goal of it is to figure out where do people live in the community and who work in the community is my number 1 goal for this. So like, I'd like everyone to take the survey in the business community and just say like, how many employees do you have and how many of them actually live in town and how many live in the county and how many live somewhere else. For the city, for example, over half commute out of the county in every day, which is interesting data because it can speak to what housing needs we have and what, how many parking issues, how many people are actually driving in every day. Is there a way we can solve that without trying to get everyone to live in town? What are the key issues we can address? And so then on top of it, there's just an opportunity to submit ideas. And so if everyone is willing to take, someone next to me who probably has dozens of employees, it might take longer than to fill out the survey, I would guess, for a number of employees where they live. I don't need 100% accurate count. I just am trying to get a good idea of how many people do we think are really driving in every day to come to work. Then, beyond that, the goal of the discussion is, what are your big goals, or what are the big concerns you see? Parking obviously is a big one. Housing tends to be a big one. But again, if you have any ideas now, please share. Otherwise, submit it in the survey or email me, come in and chat with me, or go to the business and we can talk if you want to do.
Questions for Dylan initially on what, like kind of from the board specifically. I really think it's important that you guys kind of consider this memo that he put. Dylan put some ideas that I had into kind of what we were talking about. I read through the 2017 plan misunderstanding Dylan and thinking that was the updated plan. So then I said Dylan, I was like, well, cool, this is great. And like, maybe we missed a couple of things. And he was like, yeah, CD, that's the old plan. I was like, oh, yeah, no wonder then. I'd be happy to share like some of my thoughts off of the 2017 plan. I can send that out to the board via email. If you guys are interested in kind of doing that from like a high level of what I reviewed. But I do think it's worth understanding that, you know, we have an opportunity as this board to really help Dylan create a comprehensive plan that's reflective of what the business community is looking to do when we're talking about, you know, economic development and tourism initiatives within the city of Idaho Springs.
Right, and the existing plan doesn't do a great job of showing where the overlaps are.
Yeah.
Across sectors or what have you, because I think housing goes really closely with economic development, which goes closely with tourism, which goes closely with environmental impacts, for example. So the plan doesn't do an incredible job of like putting those all together into a holistic, like, we need to solve these problems. This is how we do it, and the solution solve 6 different problems. So I think by getting through that as well.
So we book up for part-time, like I have people come up almost every weekend in the summer, but like, it's not really relevant. Cause like, it's more the pain point of people needing to work full time and that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point, and actually, this is a similar point I have with dentist office on the west end, which is it's kind of the side, like, they don't really have any super permanent, they have a hard time having permanent dental hygienist staff. So they get a lot of like temp people from other places, and so I think what that is a good data point to say, like, if there was more housing, would be more people who are coming up just for this part-time thing, or is it just the nature of your business? You only need people very infrequently, but they're probably not going to be in Idaho Springs. That would be helpful to us still, even if it's not the norm for most businesses. Maybe it is the norm for most businesses, I don't know.
We get a lot of like temporary, we get a lot of J1s. So like we have our core staff, I have 18 on our staff right now. I want to say like 6 of them live in town, everybody else lives outside of Idaho Springs. A majority of them live within the county, but I still have probably another 6 that live down in the city. So, and then everybody else comes in the winter.
Right.
Starting in like 2 weeks, they get back over time.
That
So
are just like more seasonal staff or J1.
they literally come from like across the
Right.
world, so like Argentina. These ones are coming from Argentina and Peru. And then we have Nigerians and like Russians, like Turkish
Sure.
people come in during summer. So,
And I mean,
and they walk. So
yeah, I know there's like, you know, J1s can find housing in the community, but I would be curious what that percentage looks like as well, you know, like how.
they have a contract with the Argo and then with the H&H Motor Lodge. And it's actually not up to us. They have to, the Greenway project that they work through, that we go through, they have to stay within the facilities that are contracted within the companies. So it's those 2. So, and I mean, there's like 45 people stuck in the rooms together. It's kind of a lot, so.
Right.
They're bigger rooms,
And
so.
that's a different potential, you know, thing that can be improved, right?
Yeah.
It's how to better accommodate seasonal workforce that expands and then contracts.
Yes.
I think that's an important thing that you and I were speaking to, like, how do we handle the influx of rafting employees in the summer season without impacting the side of 103? Or people camping in areas that are not necessarily designated for camping. We've had some solutions with that from city council authorizing some areas of land use for camping specifically for AV or for rafting employees. But again, these are conversations from the strategic planning perspective that are important strategies for us to think about. How do we create a sustainable workflow where raft guides raft in the summer and then they do other things in the winter so that they can be full-time residents here within the community and less of that. Maybe we'll have some influx that are just the seasonal workers. However, we could figure out from a strategy perspective, how to have a core workforce that works for raft companies in summer and then transitions to Loveland, restaurants, whomever in the winter, have more year-round employment opportunities.
Lodging filled up by winter residents, obviously, in the issue too, like for lodging tax, not having that flip, because I think most of your people are there almost 1 year, right? It goes to like the SNF Argos, I mean, I think that's an issue, right? Because like all of, if I wanna come on a vacation and those rooms are full, like, it's affecting a lot of things,
Right.
yeah.
Lodging is gonna be a thing that I'm gonna comment on in this, and, we're working. Yes, like, those are all good questions, and that's something that, like, we've been talking to Mary Jane about a little bit, to see how to maybe bring more lodging, that's more traditional lodging into the community versus this interesting seasonal lodging, because it does create some issues. And if somebody comes up here for vacation or to do whatever, and they stay longer, it's a little bit less of an impact with the way they maneuver around the city versus how much they're spending. And so,
Right,
yes.
well, and the rooms are lovely, like, I had not until the last few months gone into 640 Kennedy Beach or Argo, and I would stay in these places for, you know, a few nights. Because they're nice, but people don't, I feel like there's this like perception that there isn't lodging in town, because there's perception that like everything is a long-term rental now, you know, that's like a hotel, but it's long-term lodging, not short-term. But, and I mean, that's true to a degree, especially in the more distant past. But I was talking to one of the folks from HH Argo, and said on any average day, we have 60 rooms available.
I don't know that data, I don't know.
So, and so like, these problems or, you know, potential solutions quickly, you know, there's these concentric circles that keep going outwards, because I say like, do have room for lodging, and that would help the parking issue. You have more people staying overnight. We get snow staying, stopping at the mobility hub. They already drive past every day in the winter or whatever they run the weekends. Like, there's no reason that why someone should spend $800 on a rental car, $500 a night in Breckenridge, if they could stay here, have a great experience for much cheaper, and take the bus up to a different resort every day. And we could be promoting that, and getting a mobility hub could help provide the infrastructure needed to like position ourselves in that way. And that solves lodging, it solves housing potentially, because you get more investment in the city, and it solves the transportation parking issue. But, and so that's kind of my goal, is like, let's figure out what these the big problems are, and then figure out ways to solve them over the next few years.
Well, the
But
resilience, like the resiliency committee that Lindsay is partnering with, CCEDC is like lodging as part of there as well. I'm not,
Whole committee coming from it.
yeah, I'm not on that, Jonas on that, but I know Jess was on that, and I think Carla was also in that group last week.
I wasn't in lodging, I was.
I was
in
gonna say Lindsay's online, she
Yeah.
might know, but.
Yeah, we unfortunately can't hear online right now, and I apologize, guys, I have no idea what's wrong. At this point, you can hear me, I can't hear you, you can type in the chat, I will read it. So the key thing here as we kind of like wrap up is that it's really important from the business owner perspective, read where we were in 2017, take a peek at it, think of it from an industry perspective, as well as from our goals and our initiatives perspective, and get with Dylan and I to get some feedback as we're crafting this, because this is our guiding document.
and my goal would be to come back, let's say, the January meeting, just as a placeholder, and say, here's what I've heard from as many businesses as I could talk to, and survey responses, and these are the old goals, and these are how I've expanded it. Does this seem reasonable? What's missing? So, basically, that's 60 days or something to think of ideas and get with me. And I, of course, am brainstorming ideas just based on planning background and what other communities have in their plans and things like that, but I want it to be for the community here.
Yeah, so definitely paying attention, guys, to that, and seeing if you have questions on it, you want to see kind of my thoughts, I'd be happy to share that out with the board. as well.
And can I mention one more thing?
Yeah.
So the housing data is helpful for me because, you know, there's obviously 3 apartments that are going to be leasing, I would say in 2026. There's obviously been a lot of talk about Old Carlson. And they're under contract with an affordable housing developer who would be building low income rental housing if they can make it work and get it approved and all of that. And that may be coming sooner than people think. So thinking about what do we actually need from that standpoint before more things change around town and more developments happen is smart, because like if we got, let's say, 60 housing units that are affordable to someone making the half of the median income and they could live in town, would they? Or are they still gonna commute from somewhere else? You know, if we could get 30 homes that are affordable, that are single family homes at $400,000 or $350,000, what would that do for our community? So if you can, and if you're willing, you know, people don't wanna share where they live or don't wanna like take the time to put it together, fine, but it would.
I think it might also be interesting though, is it might not all be about affordability. There's probably other reasons people choose to live where they live. It's not affordability.
Childcare.
That's certainly true.
Childcare.
Childcare is a big part of it as well.
Yeah.
But also just some people, or if you have 2 jobs where your partner.
You live like in the
has someone
middle
else
or
and you're like,
something.
I'm already in Denver, and I'll commute up the 2 days a week. That's a perfectly reasonable choice. It's hard to get into that without talking to every individual employee. But
Lindsay did say that, they'll be hosting the, resilience team update in February. So we'll have some more updates from the resilience work that we're doing between here and Gilpin County through CCEDC in February as well. So that will also have some other key, initiatives that are being driven forward as well.
That'll be a similar format to earlier this year.
Correct.
Yes, where you'll have the Thursday event and the Friday morning.
I believe so, yeah, I believe that is kind of the plan, is kind of, this will be kind of like there was like a kickoff and this is kind of the cap. So this will be like the,
Evening event.
yeah, this will kind of be like the summation, of all the work that's been done over the course of the year through the resilience work. So, and there's, again, multiple, things that have kind of come out of that, with, you know, varying levels of
Action.
action items that we can execute on. So thank you, Dylan. And again, like between Dylan and I, like definitely get a chance to talk to both of us. If you guys can't get with Dylan, you get with me and I can funnel that information back to Dylan. I'll be sending out the survey as well. You already all have it. Lindsay also mentioned there is a contractor that CCEDC has hired to help work on implementation of a lot of these initiatives. So Lindsay, I, and Jess are planning on meeting with that contractor soon to kind of understand how we can put them to work within our communities. So I plan on, once we have that meeting, then having a meeting with that contractor and this team so that you guys can help him, or he can help us as well, understanding some of the initiatives that he's being.
He's also been on our film festival committee.
Yeah, so he's gonna be working into how to help advance a lot of these initiatives as we move them forward. Reminder this week, community meeting Thursday, as many of you that can come to that, I would really appreciate it. Tommy Knockers, the staff, Mayor, Andy, Guy and I sat down and had a good solid hour meeting prepping for that so that we have a good understanding of what we're saying, and how we're saying it. We'll mainly be talking about updates regarding the parking and the downtown master plan and kind of the course forward with that project and kind of the if-then statements of how we're navigating this shift and this timeline. So I think that that's really, that's kind of what we'll be talking about, as well as just sharing some updates overall. We've got arts and education is gonna come, just pop brief in, talk about some stuff, and then I'll be sharing some of our initiatives as well, talking about the gift card program and any other things, but just.
I don't know if it was Lindsay, she may have tagged you, but did Lindsay mention that Michael from the film?
Yeah,
From the film committee is gonna be there and he's gonna try to talk to people and get quick little videos, because he's trying to put together a video for, the film festival, but it's also gonna help CCCAE, because the film festival needs a building to have
yes, he will be
the
there.
grand opening thing.
And it's been mentioned in all of the advertising that there's an opportunity to talk about why you love Idaho Springs and what's important about it and all that jazz. That's kind of a multifaceted thing. He's gonna take clips that work for you guys and clips that work for us.
Perfect.
And so, because he's a volunteer and he's doing all these things out of the kindness of his heart, he's two birds, many one stones. So we'll be using that B-roll for many things, which is great. Let's see, Lindsay was asked to mention the construction workers at the senior center are parking in front of businesses all day. Maybe they can park at the resource center lot. Because you, the senior center,
Oh,
because you sit on that board.
oh, yeah.
That's why I'm looking at you. Otherwise, I have no idea how to resolve that.
What is?
They're on Minor, I would assume. It sounds like they're parking on Minor. She said, sorry, I'm being a jerk. You're not being a jerk. It's totally fair. They're parking in front of the deli and parking in front of it. So if you could maybe mention it, to Donna, that would be helpful. Steve will mention it to Donna. So we got some fun events towards the end of the month. So tree lighting again, Saturday, the 29th. The mayor will be doing our traditional story, and we'll be doing photos with Santa. Club Hotel will be hosting Santa pictures, all that's happening. So please tell your friends, spread the word. Then the following day on Sunday is the mistletoe market on 16th this year. So we're trying something new. So we'll see how that shakes out. If any of your businesses, and I'll notate this in, if any of you guys have any heating vessels, like those heating towers or anything like that, please let me know. I would love to be able to borrow them. I'll buy the propane. But to rent them, to bring them up here.
If somebody wants to come get mine from my house, we rarely use it, but it's good.
Cool. We'll figure it out. I know we're gonna borrow Tommy Knopter's fireplace or outdoor fireplace, fire pit thing. So we'll have at least a couple of things. I know that I have a few other businesses in the downtown district that have those heaty thingies.
Can we do can you roast marshmallows on yours?
Technically,
Would that be okay
propane
with
fireplace.
you if we roasted
Yes,
marshmallows?
would that be a health hazard? If you want propane flavored marshmallows,
They do that in other towns we can't mention. I can't mention.
I don't know.
It's fine. I brought one when there was a fire ban, because you can use like the propane, so I took
Okay,
one
yeah.
camping, and we did it with the kids, and
It's
it's fine.
Okay, sweet. I have no idea. I'm not any good at that.
I mean,
Just let it warm it up.
I do it just to shock Kelly.
Yeah. Alrighty, any other last minute comments? Bart, appreciate you being here. Thanks for listening. And then you want to introduce yourself real quick for those that don't know you?
Bart Bachman, my wife and I own the Torlonians office. We've been like so busy this last 10 years. We made a conscious decision to start coming to more of these, like starting now. You'll see us more, and we want to learn more and get more involved and see how we can help.
Well, you guys are super involved up at St. Mary's too. So it's a good way for us to kind of get into that community if we want to make sure the St. Mary's residents know what's going on.
Yeah,
That
we-
gentleman right there communicates very well with them.
highly involved in St. Mary's and little involved here in like Denver and Trinidad, but we're kind of just gonna do Idaho Springs and St. Mary's now. We're gonna focus on this area. We have roots that go way, way back, and we just need to get more involved, so.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
And I was gonna say, it's on me because we're not good at keeping track of what's going on. But just like whatever's going on, this market thing, we didn't know that. Where can we learn everything that's going on, whether it be the Idaho Springs Facebook page or
Visit IdahoSpringsCO.com has everything you need to know about this town and more.
IdahoSpringsCO.com.
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that.
Visit Idaho Springs, and that's the new way for us to like tell people that's what we did. We announced that this year. Version 2 has been fully announced, and by the way, the problem is the firewall here.
Oh.
With the website. It works perfectly everywhere.
Yeah, we
So I had to
did- we
freak
have
out
a-
with Ken, and I was like, Ken, fix it. What's wrong with it? And he's like, nothing is wrong with it. So there's a problem with the firewall here.
Guy on that, you can talk to our IT.
Okay,
Actually, who's who, real quick, and I'll try to be quick.
well, you know me, I'm Sadie. Okay,
You know me,
Yeah, know you.
You know me?
Katie Yard from Smoking Yards.
Okay, cool.
Sarah from Miracle.
Yeah.
I'm not on the board, but Jess from Clear Creek Tourism.
Cool.
Lana from Club Hotel.
Awesome.
Andy Marsh.
Nice to meet y'all.
And then Lindsay Valdez is online. She's our last board member and she's CCEDC and Two Brothers Galley. So our board, that's who makes up the board here. And just give your board members a little bit of trinkle. Next, when we talk about January, we're gonna talk about who's done and who's staying and term limits and how to do that. Since there was some of you that did a 1 year and some of you that did a 2 year.
So my history is my dad worked at Henderson Mines since the sixties, and we love this community more than we can say, and we just need to get more involved.
Well, thanks for coming. We appreciate it. All right, guys, any last minute wrap ups, questions, comments, concerns before Carla?
This might have been not for necessarily public, but I don't think it matters. Lindsay and I are going to not be, if I can do a quick thing on Thursday at TKB. And then Lindsay and I are heading to the old school in Georgetown because they're doing their volunteer thank you night.
Yeah.
And they are the ones who support arts over there, so we want to make sure we meet them.
Totally
Or
understand.
I meet them because Lindsay knows some of them. And Bojo's is having, Bojo's Friday is Bojo's sponsoring the Clear Creek County cheerleaders. So, go eat at Bojo's on Friday if you could.
Which I shared on our
Oh, thank you.
already, and it's up in there, so. All right, I'm going to adjourn us officially at 3:39, guys. Thank you for your participation. Sorry for all the technical problems. I have no idea. This thing is my enemy.
how's it feel confident for?